In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to make a pop art photograph. With your picture open in Photoshop, you may need to do a levels layer first if you would like to brighten up the background like I do here. This is optional. You can skip it if it doesn't apply to your picture. To brighten it, I'm going to take this white slider and move it to the left. On the other hand, if you need to darken it, you just move the dark slider. Then I want to flatten my image. Then I need to posterize it. You can decide how many levels you would like to use. I found that 4 works well. It keeps enough detail in the image without giving me too much work to do to put it all together. Essentially, every tonal level that you have will need to be colored a certain color in your final image. So the more you have, the more work you'll have to do, but it'll have more detail. The fewer levels that you have, the less layers you'll end up with in the end, but you will lose a lot of the detail in the image. So I'm going to go with 4 right here, and then flatten it again. And now we're ready to start coloring it. Go to Select, Color Range, click on one of your tonal levels. I'm going to do the white right here on the bridge of his nose. For the fuzziness, I would stick anywhere from 0 to about 30 and then stay with that for all of your layers and say OK. So now I have a selection of all of the whites. If I zoom in, you will see that when you posterize the image, it gets very speckly around the edges. And so when you select the white tones with Select Color Range, it also looks that way. It's selecting exactly all of the whites. You can continue on like this, and it's just fine. You're going to end up with a crisper looking image with a lot of detail, rough edges. What I'm going to do is go to Select, Modify, Smooth, and that will smooth out that edge a little bit. 5 pixels works well. And now I am going to lose a tiny bit of definition here, but I won't have those jagged edges. So now with that selection active, I'm going to go down and choose a solid color layer and pick my first color. Now I'm going to do a monochromatic color scheme on this one, which means all my colors will be the same color, just different levels of brightness. And I want to make it blue. So I'm going to pick a nice light blue for these highlights and say OK. Then I'm going to click back to my background and repeat those steps again, this time selecting that light gray. So select Color Range, click on this light gray, leave the fuzziness at the same number and say OK. I'm going to smooth it out, select, modify, smooth, 5 pixels, OK, and pick another color. That is slightly darker. All right, back to my background, select Color Range. This time I'm going with a dark gray. Say OK. Smooth it out. Select, modify, smooth. 5 pixels, OK. And now I'm going to do another solid color layer with a slightly darker blue. And say OK. The nice thing about these layers, these color fill layers, is that you can always go back and decide to change it if you want. So I could decide to do an analogous color scheme. I could decide to do a complementary color scheme, and I wouldn't have to make all my selections again. I just get to re-choose my colors. Now I could stop at this point if I want to keep my black black, but I'm going to go one step further and select the black tones in the image And they aren't really going to make sense unless I do them a really dark color. So in this case, a dark blue. I'm going to smooth them. And then choose a dark blue. And say OK. So again, you could leave it with the black actually as black if you like the look of that the best. Or you can choose just a nice dark color so that those shadows make sense. So at this point, you can go through and decide if you want to stick with those colors or if you want to change your color scheme. Here are a couple samples. So this would be an analogous color scheme. They're all warm tones. This is a complementary color scheme, so choosing colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So blue and orange are complementary colors. They kind of clash, but they clash in an interesting, good way. So looking for colors like red and green that are across from each other on the color wheel, that's called complementary. Here's another analogous color scheme. This one's cool tones, so different shades of blues and greens. Or you could go with something that's monochromatic like I did and just choose all different color tones of the same color, like the blues, or you could do reds or greens.